Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video, I'll be discussing my thoughts on episode 5 of the anime series Hibike Euphonium Season 2, and this entire episode was like deja vu all over again. It felt very much like the reincarnation of the finale episode of Season 1, even down to the musical piece Kitaji High School plays in the Katsai competition in this episode. I was constantly wondering as they were playing it, because it rang so familiar. Was this the song they actually played at the end of Season 1, or were learning during Season 1? And I could not honestly remember. At some point, I'll have to go back and actually watch the finale of Season 1 to see what the piece was that they actually played. But it was like all of that, shades of that all over again. The idea of competing for the gold, and spoiler warning, they end up attaining the gold. And I really had to wonder, realizing that already at this point in the season, we're already part of this competition. They got past all of the drama going on with Mizori and Nozomi and everything like that. All these girls came together, and they are very much in support of each other. And we're already at a competition, and I was like, well, wait a minute, what's the rest of the season going to be like? Absolutely forgetting about the nationals, going to the nationals. And when I recalled that, when they brought that up, when they made that vow to themselves before they were going on stage, the 16th performance in this line for this particular day, and it looks like it was a days upon days event, 2 or 3 days where all these different schools would be playing one after the other, and each day they would find out what their ranking was. I just had to beg the question, well, what would be next? Would the rest of the season just sort of go back to a slice of life school day living kind of thing? I don't know. I didn't realize the Nationals was still something left to come. And with how much time we have left for the particular season, and with all of the senpais, you think of Asuka, you think of all these other elder characters, Nozomi, Mizori, and all this kind of stuff, the Nationals has so much weight to it. It has such clout to it in the sort of ramifications of everything all of these students, all of these band classmates have been through for all of these years. And it's even down to, you think of Hazuki putting all of her faith and hope in Kumiko and Reina, and they're not even like the elders, they kind of are to her, but, they are not on Asuka's level. They are not on Mizori and Nozomi's level. They're not on the level of all these girls who have been through this before and seen it all come crashing down. So for all of them to be on the same page, cut from the same cloth, all wishing and hoping with just all of their being, all of their hopes and dreams to make going to the Nationals a reality. And then by the end of this episode, seeing that they are one of the 3 schools picked for that very thing, it was inspiring. I mean, there were a couple of times where, my breath almost caught in my throat. I was right there with them. They ramped up the tension. And I think what really hallmarked that in the beginning was, of course, you have Taki-sensei being about to, start his conducting, and then suddenly they cut away, and they don't come back until a little while later, after you see like the crowd milling outside and people overhearing it, and you see Hazuki backstage and everything, listening to everything. It was just intense. And so I was really ramped up, and I was brought to this sense of awe and wonder with the music that they were playing. It was, of course, very vivacious, very heroic, very thunderous at the beginning, and then it became more mellow. And with the solo that effectively Reina plays, it really just, it took me from a level of almost being on the point of exacerbation and worry for these characters, for this competition, for what it all meant to them, for the stranglehold it held in the balance, to suddenly being overcome with this sense of calm. And when we finally get past it, when everyone is in the audience, and they really know how to play with your emotions, because they play the end credits before they even get you there, before you even find out what they attained in this particular performance, but whether or not they're going to the Nationals, it was all after the end credits. And so I was like, damn it, we're going to have to wait another week after you got me all hopped up with this performance, and then you mellowed me down, and then we're going to end on a cliffhanger. Damn you all to hell. But no, finally, in the end, do we get the answer? And it made me fist pump. I was like, oh, hell yes, hell yes. These girls are so deserving. All of them, the girls, the boys, everyone in between, but especially the main focused group of characters that we have been dealing with. Kumiko, Reina, again, Mizori, Nozomi, Asuka, all of them, they're all in support of each other, and they've all attained this level of, equilibrium that it's fantastic. I love that shared vow that you had between Mizori and Nozomi. I'm going to be playing for you. And this was then mirrored by Kumiko and Reina, who I have said time and time again, it's like those two relationships, those two friendship partnerings, whatever you want to call it, are so cut from the same cloth, are so mirrored in each other. They are such parallels to each other that it just really amped me up and juiced me, got me excited that this is the calling for these girls. Now it's a reality. They are going to the Nationals, and that is where the focus will lie from here on out for the rest of the season. And I can't wait to see how far along we go. I can't wait to see what happens when they get there, what drama will ensue as they are moving into that idea of now we really gotta learn a new piece probably, and we got to put all of our lives and our dedication into that. Will tensions mount? Will they all still be able to keep straight faces and keep their eyes on the prize, so to speak? Or will falling outs happen all over again? It begs the question. And I just love this series. I love its momentum. I love that they were really tugging at my expectations in this episode and playing with them. Really, again, making my breath get caught in my chest and not knowing exactly how this was going to play out. And being so satisfied after, again, being toyed with the idea that it was ending on a cliffhanger and we weren't going to know until a week from now what in the hell is going on, to then have that calming revelation, that satisfying revelation. Yes, they've attained it. They've achieved it. When it comes to the one school that, Kumiko talked to her friend on the phone, and she told her, don't even bother coming up to me and saying hi. I probably won't be in the right mental state because of this competition. Her school got the silver, and it's such a deafening, defeating blow, even just attaining silver, because everybody wants to achieve something greater, much like Reina, much like she embodied to Kumiko in that moment in season 1, which you see once again. Basically Kumiko is reflecting back on it after Reina had said, I will be playing for you. When I play my solo, it'll all be for you. And making that vow to each other, she was calling back to that shared experience of Reina letting her hair down and being honest with Kumiko and just telling her, exposing her hopes and dreams of going to the Nationals, of achieving some speciality in her life. And I love that. I love the relationships between these characters. Of course, people are talking about, there being something more than just a deep, heartening friendship between them. And if that's the way the story goes, that's the way the story goes. I'd be all for it, more or less, But their great bond of friendship, their support for each other, it is something mirrored in all of these characters, boys and girls alike. And it's something that leaves you wanting to aspire to be the greatest person you can be in watching it. So bring on the next one. Let's see where the story is headed on their way to the Nationals, whether or not conflicts will arise, whether or not everyone will be able to keep conformed to this unity that, they've finally attained and reached by this point. Bring it on. And so, yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. If this video finds you well, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.